Start whenever you want.
So today we're going to talk about single person forcible entry utilizing a Halligan bar and a wedge. For my wedges, I like to put a little leash on here. This is just an 18-inch piece of paracord tied at the end with a square knot, making it about a 9-inch loop. We'll see why this loop comes in handy here in a second. So on a traditional door, you're going to have a nice tight gap that you're not going to be able to slip your adze in. So what this wedge is going to do is create space to get our tool in to start the gap process and eventually get to the set process of forcible entry to now force this door. So I'm going to insert my wedge. Every action has a reaction. So when I set this wedge, I want to put it in a place that's not going to get in the way of my actual force potentially hitting my spike or however I manipulate my tool. So I'm going to place this directly below my locking mechanism. We're trying to work 6 inches above or below our locking mechanism. Doesn't mean we can't start low and work our way up, but right now I'm just creating my gap, so I'm going to start right at the lock. So from here, I'm going to strike my tool, my wedge, making sure I don't hit my fingers. Once I started getting the wedge captured in there, now I can let go and create a larger gap. We're trying to conserve energy and not force this door open with brute strength, but optimize the mechanical advantage of our tool. So now I'm going to capture the leash with my adze. Insert my adze in the gap that I created, being mindful that the wedge and the spike aren't going to hit, so that way it doesn't upset my force. We want to optimize our mechanical advantage by reaching out as far as we can on our bar to utilize the mechanical advantage of the tool. So as you can see, I already created a larger gap. My wedge fell, but because of that leash, it didn't fall all the way to the ground. So now I can regain my wedge, continue my capture. So now, with one thumb on there, gripping the spike, I can pull a little bit, capture that progress, and I'll reset my adze. Pull a little bit, capture my progress, reset my adze onto the forced position. If you're smaller in nature like myself, you can do a little bit what I call a kickstart, where I'm going to swing my leg back to gain momentum for my force. So from here, I know I'm not going to get both locks at once. I'm just going to try and at least get one, capture that progress, work my way up to my next lock back. From here, simulating there's potentially a wall right here, I can now push my bar down because my spike's pointed up in case I can't continue my throw this way. Okay, I bring out a throw, reinserting my wedge, bringing my bar back out, keeping that lanyard on. I can now go above my first lock and repeat the process. So I've now defeated my first lock. Now I'm just going to continue working my way up to my next locking mechanism. I could potentially force this door right now, but we're trying to practice good mechanics and work through the difficulties. So now from here, I can 3-gap down. My door is open, and now I can initiate my live fire layout call out. I'm going to set my tool on the door side of my doorway, open the door with my foot so I don't go in too far, sweeping that immediate area. So when we sweep that immediate area, we're looking for line of sight rescues, victims that we can see within the door based off of our conditions. We're also looking at the fire, looking for active fire that we can see, or reading the smoke, see if we can see where the smoke's leading to the fire. We simulate, we have a bi-directional flow path here, meaning I have an intake in the bottom and exhaust coming out the top. Even though the exhaust is coming out the top, that bottom layer of smoke is going to be pulled in by the intake to the seat of the fire. So now I can see the smoke is going in and to the left. So that's the fire of the live fire layout. Now I'm looking at the layout. I have a living room straight ahead, whole way to the bedrooms on the right, kitchen beyond the living room. Now I know my layout. After that, I'm going to do a call out. Call out is anybody in here listening for some sort of return by holding my breath for 5 to 10 seconds so I can hear over the purchase of my mask that has paused because I'm holding my breath. Also noting the fact that you're probably not going to hear a very loud audible return. You want to listen for subtleties such as tapping of the hands, a cough, or some slight gas, right? So now I've put the live fire layout. I want to maintain door control because we're simulating that I don't have a charged hose line in place to pull these conditions. So I'm going to put my tool in the door so that way as I close it, it doesn't relatch. And that's a single person forcible wedge.